New York, big city of dreams.
I'm coming straight out.
New York, big city of dreams.
NYC.
What's up, KOT family? It's your boy, the Latin Assassin, Lee Escobedo, here to celebrate this Knicks win. The Knicks take on the Toronto Raptors in MSG and whoop that belt to ass 112-98, a much-needed win after a three-game losing streak that started with the OKC Thunder. We got our lit back on Toronto tonight. I believe this was the first time that OG, Quickly, RJ, and Precious all played in the same game since the mega trade that happened last year that brought Anunoby and Precious Achiuwa to New York. A huge move that really helped both teams, but tonight was a showdown and kind of a reclamation of that trade, reformation, and the Knicks came out on top. It was a huge night for Karl-Anthony Towns. Battling knee soreness, he gave you 27 points, 13 rebounds. OG Anunoby went bar for bar with RJ Barrett during that one stretch, but came out on top with 27 points and 2 steals. Josh Hart, unbelievable game from Josh Hart. 21 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists. And of course, the captain, Jalen Brunson, knew when not to chuck and only had 13 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds. We are going to talk about everything, but before I do, I want to introduce the former Rookie of the Year, my sister, Ebony, Queen Eb, back in the building for the KOT family. Eb, how you feeling, and how do you feel about this win?
Feeling good. Glad to, again, be in the win column. We still look extremely tired. We're looking like we crawled into All-Star break right now, but a win is a win, and at least today what I liked is that our defense, even though our offense was up and down, the defense kind of carried through in that second half a little bit, with the defense turning into offense. OG got into it a little bit. So yeah, we're going to. It's going to be it's a long season for a reason, y'all. And there's going to be some ugly parts, and there's going to be advantage of the bigger man being on it. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. And us hitting 3-pointers. I didn't recognize. I think it was Mike Breen who said or Clyde, I can't remember that was the first 3 that Brunson has hit in 3 games. I did not recognize that or know that. So that was kind of eye opener.
Yeah, it was even though we shot 38.5% from 3, which is a much needed uptick from what we've been producing during this 3-game losing stretch, there were still some bad shooting nights. Mikal Bridges, who I did not mention to start, I believe he had 10 points. He shot 2 of 11 from a 3-point line, 4 of 18 overall. So while he struggled to find a shot, OG Anunoby, someone who's been off for about 2 or 3 weeks, I feel like really found his mark from downtown. He was 4 of 6 from a 3-point line, 7 of 8 from the free throw line, a plus 24 for the game on the way to scoring 27. He really came out with, I think, intention against his old team, really wanting to lay the hammer down against the Raptors and lay the hammer down against RJ and Quickly, I think, specifically, too. Because when this Raptor team is fully healthy, they're pretty dangerous offensively. A lot of holes. And a lot of guys you got to make up for defensively, like a Grady Dick, who's not a strong defender. Quickly, who's an inconsistent defender. Scotty Barnes, RJ had both held their own this season when healthy. But Jacob Poeltl, man, he is a center really capable of getting dog walked. Same as our friend iHeart. He plays a lot of the same way. Toronto ran a lot of the same action that New York and OKC runs for iHeart. A lot of those dribble handoffs above the break. They ends up kind of cutting to the basket, and you have him as a lob threat. Very similar to how iHeart is used with the Knicks and the Thunder, but defensively, Karl-Anthony Towns looked at him and saw a buffet, and he really attacked him, I felt like, in the paint. He was really driving on him, too, keeping him on his hip and getting all the way to the hoop, and if he didn't make the shot, he was just getting onto the free throw line as well, where he had some success, 6 of 6, perfect from the free throw line. So, yeah, a lot of good with this game. I think we really needed to come out against an inferior opponent and really a team that cannot defend and really dominate them across the metrics that I've deemed important, which are free throw shooting, 80% from the line, assists, 25, not at the 30 mark, but better than 18, 17 that we've been in previous games. And then winning the rebounding battle significantly, 43-33. But let's start this off with Karl-Anthony Towns abusing Jacob Poeltl. Eb, since you joined this last episode, what are some of the things you feel like that Karl-Anthony Towns is utilizing to get into this streak where he's kind of regaining his composure and staying out of foul trouble and dominating on the boards?
I think he's taking the New York mentality, if you want to say, like, we don't accept soft basketball. And I think him coming here, he knows that he's been playing more of a very dominant, mixing it up inside and outside. Today, what I like is that what has been an echo in the social media streets is that he doesn't go off on smaller players. Today, it looked like he was hunting them. He seen them, yeah, and he was hunting the smaller player or anybody that was in front of him today. He didn't do a lot of it was in the post, like again, mixing it up. He had some turnarounds, he had some hook shots, he shot a couple threes. So just him doing it inside out, that works for us. And my only thing with Cat is I want to say focus, but decision making sometimes like it drives Clyde crazy with his fouls and his offensive fouls and things of that nature. Clean that up, I think we'll be okay. He will be okay. And yeah, the only thing again that I have wrong, the only gripe that I have against Cat so far this season was his off ball defense. But other than that, I have in the fouling, I liked what Cat's done this year. I would like him to continue, not bailing defense out, which is what he was doing today. Constant putting pressure, hook shots, mixed it up instead of just being 3-point shooter all the time. I'm cool with that. I'm cool the way Cat's playing. I will also say I admit I was happy he got that third foul. I thought that meant he was going to sit down because I was scared for a little while with him that he wasn't ready today. So he got that third foul. I was like, yeah, go sit down, Cat. Go sit down. But then I forgot who our coach was. He put him right back in. He put us right back in there. So, but yeah, I like the way Cat's playing, and I like the way that OG, when Cat outside the 3-point line doing what he does, how they'll slide him and Mikal or slide in to be the post present if need be to keep the balance kinda. So yeah, we're getting there slowly but surely, but we just look really, really tired.
Agree with that. And we'll talk about that in the minute distribution here in a few. But I like that all 5 starters gave you a plus in the plus category. Cat gave you a plus 25, Mikal Bridges plus 26, OG plus 24, Brunson plus 20, and Hart plus 19. This was a game where that plus minus, you could actually see it and feel it on the court on the defensive side for Karl-Anthony Towns. Agree with you. Really thought he abused Poeltl, which he should. This is a matchup where he absolutely should dominate. This is how I thought he would play against Isaiah Hartenstein when we played OKC. This is how I wanted him to come out. And it wasn't just offensively. It was also in the steals. Those 3 steals, leading the team tonight in steals, I thought was impressive. He was really playing the passing lanes and using his wingspan to his advantage, but also the offensive rebounding. There are multiple possessions that the combined offensive rebounding of Karl-Anthony Towns and Josh Hart was dominant. We kind of looked at our old selves with the ability to get second chance points, and a lot of those second chance points was Karl-Anthony Towns crashing the boards, getting offensive rebounds, and then absolutely dominating with, as you said, the full arsenal of offensive moves that he has. I've never seen someone wearing a knit jersey that is that skilled from the mid-range and into the basket. He just has every move he possibly can. The push shot, the post up, the turnaround, the fadeaway. He's unbelievable. And I wish we could use him more as a passing hub to where he could really get these other guys on the bench some opportunities for easy buckets, because I think that would be the best way to utilize him running with that second unit. But also, unbelievable, who could be a candidate for the MVP of his game, was Josh Hart. Really thought he took the criticism of last game defensive effort and his shooting performance. He really turned up a notch. To me, I think he was probably the nucleus of this win. He wasn't necessarily dominating offensively, but he hit the open 3. When he got it, he was 2 of 5 from the perimeter, 6 offensive boards, 7 assists. He was playmaking from the elbow, as he usually does, find cutters, and that helps that Mikal Bridges and Landry Shamet are so active off ball, constantly moving in Tibbs' motion offense. When we play like that, it doesn't really even matter if we get more than 25 assists, but it's because the ball is moving. There's a lot of hockey assists happening because when Hart or Cat catches it and they don't have a mismatch, they're keeping that thing moving, not holding on to it. The really thing that only disrupts that is when Jalen Brunson does ISO ball. But yeah, I thought that was even limited too for the most part tonight. Although I would have liked a few possessions for him to look to pass it when he was getting smothered by quickly. But otherwise, really great. Josh Hart and Cat were standout to me. Was there anyone else that we haven't mentioned that you felt you wanted to give some props to, or is there someone you felt like we should critique in terms of their play? Whether it's
yeah, campaign. I don't know. Again, I think he need Deuce on his tail to play correct. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him there, but it seems like Tibbs is reluctant right now to play him and Shamet on the court for a lot of minutes consecutively. I seen him break it up with either Brunson and Shamet or Kim and Cat. But it was a little breakup period there, and then he did play them together a little bit today, but it wasn't as long as it has been normally. I noticed that. I don't know what's going on there. That's his minutes have been weird. His play has been weird too, actually. So hopefully he gets it together. Maybe he has lack of legs too. Who knows? Yeah, we used to talk about Josh Hart. I love that the total team player that he is. Like you mentioned, the hockey assist, he's quick to do a little touch pass, maybe get it going, push it, get it going, whatever you got to go. Maybe drive, get some penetration pulls to the basket so he can get other people to clap so he could pass it out. These are the things that he does. I love Josh. Not enough things I can say about him. A total team player. With Jalen Brunson, I know I got on him last post, but I like today. It was a couple times where he definitely made the extra pass. Like he had a wide open shot, a 3-pointer. I think it was might have been in the first half. I can't remember exactly which half. And he passed it up to Cat, who was also open. But he had a wide open shot, and for him to give it up, I was like, there you go. We're seeing, him just trying to trust his teammates more. And this is practice. That's what regular season is. It's practice for the playoffs. So hopefully these are practicing winning ways, and he can do that even in pressure situations. But this wasn't the best game offensively for everybody. Everybody hit a couple more shots and everything, but that's what we want about our defense, to be sharp, because when your offense doesn't carry, your defense can. You're always in the game. That's why I always preach defense, because the shot might not be there, but if I'm locking you up and your shot not there either, we okay. We have a chance. Yeah, I had mentioned Hart getting used to having bigger players on him. I like how when he saw that they tried to put Poeltl or what's the other guy? The one that used to be at Utah.
Olynyk.
I couldn't remember his name. Yeah, when he was on him, he would look to drive to the hoop. I'm loving to see. Yeah, and OG looked bullyish today. He showed the little bully ball, a lot of bully ball today. So yeah, I will talk about OG and his post up game. I've noticed that a couple of games in a row. Like that's what he's been trying to do. Trying to establish himself in the post, because I think he knows that he's not a big shot creator just yet. So you got to get in where you fit in, and most of the time he'll have a smaller player on him. So take advantage of that.
Yeah. Agreed. I'll touch on a few of those points you brought up because I think they're pertinent. OG feels like he's really solidifying that move he has, that backdoor cut where he gives himself enough space to do the spin move, and then he seals his opponent and is able to hit that dunker spot. And I mean, his size, if you foul him, he's going to follow through on the shot. It's going to be an and one. So he's really hard to stop when he's in that backdoor opportunity. And I thought Josh Hart specifically was really keying in on trying to get OG going this game. A lot of the threes that OG hit were assisted on because of Josh Hart's dribble penetration and finding OG on the perimeter. So they had a nice two-man game going, and they've had two-man game even in their losses. I've noticed a little bit more action being played between Josh Hart and OG. I think Hart is really trying to get OG going, because when he does get going, and as we did tonight, it makes the game easier for both Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns. His driving lanes are more open. I think Cat was able to abuse in one-on-one situations because the other defenders had to stay honest to the man on the perimeter, because outside of Brunson and Cat, everyone was hitting their threes. It was a good night from a line for Hart. It was a good night for OG, and it was a good night for Karl-Anthony Towns. So great team win. I think there's a lot of ball movement. Again, the 25 assists, I think they're a little deceptive because there were a lot of hockey at pass. And I think sometimes some of the sets that led to 2 points went beyond the regular duration of like what an assist typically accounts for. Like they held the ball more, or it took more dribbles they did to the hoop. But I think a lot of the shots, it was efficient shot making, and that really helped our offense overall, keeping guys honest and being able to abuse mismatches. But the bench, they actually played this game. I think Tibbs, someone was in his ear, or maybe he did it himself, but he did give the bench more minutes tonight, and I think it was to varying degrees of success. Campaign has been absolutely ill for Peyton for about the last 2 weeks. I think he's been a net negative because he's not even moving the ball. He's not generating assists. He's not crashing the boards. To me, he kind of looks lost within the offense, and I think he has that OB mentality right now where if he makes a mistake or he misses too many shots in a row, Tibbs is going to yank him. I think he's really desperate to be out there, and Tibbs seems desperate to try different rotations with him as well. I saw him playing with the starting unit in I think 2 or 3 stretches. He was running the point of attack with the other 4 starting bigs out there, and it didn't really lead to any extra possessions for him or scoring opportunities. Only took 1 shot tonight. Didn't even attempt a 3. Never went to the line. Only had, I believe, 1 assist. Like, to me, if that's the type of production you're getting from Cameron Payne, I think at that point there's a really honest argument for Tyler Kolek to get some type of burn, at least someone out there who can generate ball movement. If Campaign's, he's not even getting the ball out of his hands quickly. He's holding on to the ball a lot too, trying to find opportunity for him to get an easy bucket and get in a rhythm. He's not moving off ball like Shamet is. So to me, Cameron Payne, man, if he doesn't pick the game up, I think Tim should try a different rotation and maybe set him for a few games and see what Kolek is able to unlock with that second unit, because that second unit really has trouble generating their own offense.
Yeah, I like Kolek. I like the prospect of what he can be. When you have it's like mix him up again. You could hide him because you can't. And people, I'm gonna say this because for the Gaslight crew, I call them the Gaslight crew because they was like, "Oh, look at the bench. They suck. They suck." When we ask for the bench, we're not asking for the whole bench at the one time.
Correct.
One time together. That's not what we're calling for when we ask for bench minutes. We're asking you during the 4 quarters to sprinkle them in so you can get the people in our rotation some rest. You can steal them some rest. That is it. That is it. So with Tyler, I'm all for seeing how he looks with the other players that may be more defenders. I am all for that, especially like you said, Cam is not on the greatest heater right now. He's not in the greatest, couple of games. But people always ask why he's not playing. It's just defense. Defense is why he is not playing. The very first defensive play, or who's that, blows right by him because I don't even know who that guy was that did it. It was like, who is that? But he went right by Tyler. I get it. You got to move them puppies. It'll get better. When the game slows down, he'll learn the angles and how to prepare instead of react, I guess, or recover. Prepare instead of recover. But until that happens, I understand Tibbs is going to be uncomfortable. Tibbs is a defensive-minded coach. But I would like to see him with the likes of maybe OG and Mikal and see what that looks like. Can we hide him enough? What that looks like. I'm all for that. That's what the regular season is for. The beginning of the regular season, this is what that's for, just to see things. And then as you get closer to the end, you start shoring up your rotation. Tibbs just shores up his rotation, and that's just it. That's it. That's it for the rest of the season. Again, we're not asking him to play 30, 40 minutes. No, just enough to still so Jalen Brunson and them cannot look like they have ankle weights on their legs. They have no lift. It's not that they don't want to. It's sometimes they don't have it. You can see it. We're missing layups. We got no lift. It was a fast break that three of our players had 3 layups and all 3 missed it. It was OG, Josh, and I think it was Cat. No lift.
I feel like until Deuce gets back, I don't think Mitch factors into this equation as much as Deuce because of Deuce's ability to generate his own offense. I think Tibbs should really shy away from moments where it's either 4 bench players and 1 starter or 5 bench players completely, which we see very rarely. But I have seen him do it this season. I liked what he did tonight, where he was staggering 3 starters with 2 bench guys, especially the minutes where Precious was playing the 4 and Shamet was playing the 2. I thought that was maybe the most effective lineup of a night. Anytime Precious Chua comes in and plays a 5, he gets absolutely bodied. I mean, Kelly Olynyk was like, to him, it looked like a buffet. He was driving in on Precious Chua and scoring buckets in the lane with that little floater shot that he had. Man, but when Cat came in and Precious moved to the 4, he's way more effective, in my opinion. He's effective as a passer, which that incredible dime that he had to Landry Shamet on the cut that led to that great shot in the paint, points in the paint. But I think Precious is also better as a help side defender. When he has a guard the rim as a primary defense, he just gets obliterated. I mean, guys they use their hip, they keep him there, and they create a distance with their wingspan to just score on him. It doesn't matter if it's a guard or a big; it happens continuously. But at the 4, he can come over as that weak side shot blocker. He can help out, try to hit a charge or double team and cut off driving lanes. He's much more effective as a backup power forward, which is why Mitchell Robinson coming back is so important to him to be the true 5. So Precious never has to play another second as a backup 5. It's ineffective. And it's one of those things, as well as Tibbs need to expand the rotation and play more bench minutes. It's one of the things I think most Knicks fans agree is both more the bench should play and Precious should never play the 5. It's just those moments of the time when the opposing team goes on runs or our lead is cut or they increase their lead. It always spells trouble. But tonight, I was very happy to see Shamet at 21 minutes, chip in 8 points. Precious 15 minutes, chipped in 6 points, and Payne 11 minutes. He had 2 assists. I'm sorry, 1 assist. Not much talked about with Payne, but Landry Shamet really, really impressed with his defense, his ability to keep his man in front of him, his ability to fight over screens, his ability to guard that high pick and roll. Really, really impressed with his switching ability, just his understanding of passing lanes, his understanding of getting deflections. Really smart defensive player. Probably a better defensive player than I even thought he was going to be. I don't know if I've ever seen him play this high level of defense. Maybe it helps he's playing alongside other really smart defenders in a really smart head coach's defensive scheme. Perhaps that's really unlocking him. But I love his minutes, even though he went scoreless from the perimeter. I believe he was 0 for 4 from 3. He was really effective as a cutter tonight.
Mm-hmm.
He finishes around the basket really beautifully. And it's going to lead me to a hot take. I'm going to let you share your opinion on Landry Shamet, and I'm about to drop a bomb to our KOT family on what I think we should do to fix this rotation.
Okay. Well, I thought T.J. Warren, but I was told we couldn't. So I don't know. But with Shamet, I think our bench and everything else looks better with time because again he's coming off a big injury. And I remember how he fit before that injury offensively. It was very smooth. He was hitting jump shots. He was doing this, doing that. Now, the jump shots might come later because, again, he's working his way back into game shape, into all of that. So his legs might not just be there. But the fact, like you mean, he's competing on defense. I just remember Shamet being reliable, like throughout his career, just being a reliable vet. Even when he wasn't a vet, just somebody you could put out there every once in a while and steal minutes for your starters or whatever. So I'm excited to see how he continues to find his way because I think he's going to be big for our team. That's my hot take. I really believe Shamet's role becomes bigger on our team.
You're thinking like I'm thinking. Before I drop that hot take, let me shout out the chat. Sandman, Gregory Lee, Gamer Channel. We love you, Isaiah Ramos. Much love, bro, homie. Brioche. That's the first time I think I've seen brioche in the chat. Is that brioche the bread? You must be a food connoisseur like myself. JT Reddit, the best mod in the game. Fritz Ausender. We love you, brother. The fifth Beatle. Yeah, man. The chat's going off, and a few people kind of think already are on the tail of what I'm about to say. All right. So we lead the lead in fewest bench minutes. We lead the lead in fewest bench points. As I said last podcast, there's a direct correlation there. If you increase the minutes of the bench, obviously the points off the bench are going to increase as well. It's hard for people to get into a rhythm when they're playing 8, 9 minutes a game and the staggering's strange. So sometimes you're playing without Brunson, so you're trying to generate your own shot. It's difficult. I get it. I think there's a fix that I mentioned to start this NBA season that we had discussions on that would really help solidify the starting unit while improving the bench production. Now, Deuce McBride must be mentioned because his 10 points per game gives us what every championship winner of the last 5 years has had, which is at least one double-digit scorer off the bench. Detroit had Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. The Warriors had, I believe, Jordan Poole. Last year, the Boston Celtics had Al Horford. All these guys have only had one double-digit point scorer. But if we move Josh Hart to the bench, that would give us two. Hart would be able to help playmate, get guys involved. He's a one-man fast break. So if you move him to the bench, who starts? Landry, Shamet. I believe that Landry Shamet can give us 80% of Dante DiVincenzo's production because of a defense I've seen so far. There was a period where I was off that thought, and I thought, oh, it wouldn't work because then the cohesiveness of that starting unit as a defensive monster would really, now you have two guys you got to hide, Brunson and Shamet. But Shamet has shown himself to be a really solid team and individual defender. And I think you can run a lot of the same plays that you run for Bridges for Shamet to be able to get him open off of those off-ball screens and curls for him to do some wide open threes. And if he's hitting his three, I mean, that's a lot of off-ball movement where you don't have to run a whole lot of plays for him. He can still get a shot. He still defends on a high level and allows Josh Hart to bring that bull in a China shop mentality to off the bench and playing with Deuce and other guys he's familiar with, Precious. And I think his ability to play make, which Shamet does not have, would really help get everyone else in that bench unit easy shots at the rim or on the perimeter. Hate it, love it.
I would be again. I would have to see more Shamet, but I don't hate it. I didn't think Josh or Precious really would be starting the whole season. Either one of those players, I believe, was meant to be off the bench or come off the bench. So eventually, I'm all for trying to shake stuff up, especially when you're trying to make your team a team. Because at the end of the day, it's not always who starts; it's who finishes. So if we just have to do things in terms of flow and flow of the game. I'm cool with that. I'm all for it. It's just that I just need whoever's playing the best that game to finish. That's it. I'm cool with everything in between.
And we can probably admit that 99 out of 100 times Josh Hart's going to finish over Landry Shamet. So again, it doesn't matter if Landry Shamet starts, but it gives that bench someone else besides Deuce who can generate their own offense, who can push the pace, who can playmate for others. I mean, Hart could be that one-man hub at the elbow like he has been, and he could still share minutes with Brunson and share minutes with Bridges, two guys he's gained chemistry with throughout the season. But it's that not having to have a drop-off defensively. Shamet being able to keep his man in front of him, fighting over screens with the same intensity that Josh Hart does. To me, that's continuity. And I think Tibbs has always made one tweak to the lineup every season. And last season we saw Grimes benched for DiVincenzo. I think it's a situation that, as you said, both players would acquiesce. I think Hart would be okay with it, and Shamet would love it. Shamet's done from playing with Sims and Precious, spacing, the Karl-Anthony Towns and OG. I think it benefits everyone involved and allows us to really see, is Shamet a player worth investing in for the future? Is he someone worth re-signing to a longer deal this summer? And does he give us another trade chip to improve the prop roster in the offseason as well? I think there's a lot of benefits to it. And I think there's a possibility now, better than ever, that Tibbs maybe makes a change. And if there is a change, I believe that's the one that he's going to make. So I'm a fan. It seems like you're at least don't hate it. We're looking forward.
No, I don't hate it at all. Again, as long as we playing whoever, that's me as if I was the coach. Whoever, or when I was playing too, I had a lot of coaches that rewarded people for when they did well. You do well in the game, you stay out there. You don't do well, no matter who it is. I was fortunate that they would pull them, and to me that got the best results because it's consistent, If I go out there and give it my all at the end of this game, I'm in it. you get more from your players that I've noticed that way. So I'm cool with that. Just the flow of, if it works with the flow of the game, and again, Cam is not doing much. Why not? And shouts out to Josh Hart because something that's very underrated is his playmaking ability. I had
Yep.
actually got into an argument with a Celtic fan because they were trying to compare Josh Hart and Jason Tatum's rebounding ability. Why I don't know, but they were definitely trying to do it and claim that that's all Hart is good for. And I'm like, that lets me know you're not a watcher of ball. And
Hell no.
then he says that who's running the offense through Josh Hart, and I laugh because we are running the offense through Josh Hart at times. We definitely do. So
Yep.
that is a very underrated thing of Josh Hart, and I've noticed that. I've noticed that even last year he was good at that, getting up lobs to people and pushing the pace. When Obi was here, he was one of the lob throwers to Obi for a little while they was here together. So yeah, I'm all cool with him running the second unit as a alternative point guard, if you want to say, between him and Deuce. Sure, I would love to see what that looks like.
That's a good point. Having Hart off the bench allows Deuce to be more of a two guard instead of having to initiate the offense, which to me is his strength. Coming off his screens, catching on the perimeter, and just nailing a knockdown, unbelievable 3-point shot is where Deuce thrives more so than trying to set his teammates up. And I think that's why Payne has continued to play off the bench because Tibbs likes Payne more in that playmaker role and Deuce in that catch and shoot opportunity. So Josh allows that to continue. And I think the spacing's better too with Shamet in that starting unit. There's not so much pressure on Josh Hart to hit that three. But now Shamet, even if Shamet's over 5, he is still absolutely a threat, and you cannot leave him open because that one made three can lead to 3 or 4 more, and then that's to finish a quarter. Yeah, I just, again, there's a lot of benefits to it. Agree with the playmaking aspect too. Him being next to Brunson has allowed Brunson to get into rhythm sometimes as the off-ball cutter and a catch and shoot opportunist too. So he's really benefited us. He's become the most important player, I think, on this team. Last season, I might argue it was OG.
Yeah.
This season, I think it's been Josh Hart.
Yeah, he's a Swiss definition of a Swiss Army knife.
Yep.
And a jack of all trades, my type of player, actually. So
I mean, you saying that made me remember me saying Fizdale calling Lance Thomas a Swiss Army knife. I'm like, compared to Josh Hart, I mean, Lance Thomas out the league for a reason. That was a bold proclamation to call Lance Thomas a Swiss Army knife and make him captain. I don't know what they were thinking.
That's how you know that was my how much I love this team because you couldn't tell me nothing bad about Lance Thomas when he was I was blinded.
Thomas, you know, I'm really happy we got this win. I'm glad that we played Toronto after Orlando because let's set that 3-game losing streak out of our system and have a really easy opponent, at least defensively. Again, Toronto can get hot, and Poeltl is a nice playmaking hub for them. He's very similar to Isaiah Hartenstein. He's like Isaiah Hartenstein without any toughness. He's a very soft version of Hartenstein, but he plays very similar. And I think we matched up with them and were able to beat them on the perimeter and get some easy points in the paint. And I think guys finally got in a rhythm outside of Mikal Bridges. That's what we need going into Friday, which is a huge game for us against the OKC Thunder. A rematch from about a week and a half ago when they started that 3-game losing streak for us by beating the brakes off of us in the fourth quarter. They just lost tonight and had their 13 or 14-game losing streak broken by the Cleveland Cavaliers. So we are finding them in a very interesting situation. I think the pressure is off for both teams. Pressure's off for OKC to keep the win streak going, and the pressure's off for New York to be the one to break the win streak. I think the Knicks ride the wave and momentum of this game, having a day off and then facing the OKC Thunder. I think we have a better shot this time around, and it all comes down to, in my opinion, Cat dominating iHeart. I want to see iHeart dog walked, and instead of like crying about it happening, I want to be really happy that iHeart is getting abused by Karl-Anthony Towns. I do want to talk about that game a little bit and preview it with you because I think OKC is the best team in the NBA right now. I think they're absolutely going to come out the West and be in the finals. I think they're going to be our finals opponent as an optimist who thinks we're going to win the chip this year. I'm still staying true to that. But OKC, I haven't had to talk to you about them in a while. They're very dangerous. How do you see that matchup working out for us on Friday?
You know that I see a win. I feel Cat heard the murmurs about him and smaller players. I think he's heard the chit chatter. And I think he goes out and gets that 90 I thought he was gonna have last time we played them. But you know that iHeart didn't guard Cat at all. You know, and that in the four quarters,
Yeah.
he chose to guard Josh Hart.
Yeah.
So I thought Josh Hart was going to take advantage of. I got my battery about to go low. Take advantage of that matchup, but you know he had some. He didn't go at iHeart as much as I thought he did. He did go after him though. He did and take him to the bucket a couple times. But yeah, iHeart he tried to stay away from Cat. They allowed Jalen Williams and Dort to double Cat, and
Right.
what's the other guy? The other Jalen Williams
Yeah.
had his hand with a Cat too, but iHeart wanted no parts, and I found that hilarious. I found that hilarious because I went a year telling people he's no Mitch. And, yeah, he Mitch. Yeah, well, OKC didn't think he was Mitch.
But I agree. Since you've been gone, I have been the president of the Mitchell Robinson fan club. I stand by my take that we should absolutely never trade Mitch. It doesn't make any sense. One, you're not going to get the same value back for him because of his injuries and his unavailability. But he is such an important break glass if needed scenario. Like you can put him on the best bigs in the NBA, and he's going to be locked down defense. We don't have anyone on this roster. Sims, honestly, is too scared, even though I like Sims now. Karl-Anthony Towns plays great one-on-one defense and did last year against Durant and then against the Joker. But we need someone who can defend those really rugged offensive rebounding types, the Jared Allens and the Evan Mobleys, the Al Horfords, the KCPs, those guys that are really great at getting their own rebound or dominating on lobs. Mitchell Robinson is a perfect antidote to that. And I think it just doesn't make any sense for us to trade his contract, which is super affordable, and all the pluses that he gives us. There's no other team that has this dynamic of a center combination as a Knicks between Precious, Cat, Sims, Porty, and Mitchell Robinson. Yeah, I think he's going to be huge if we face the Thunder in the finals. Want to see that Mitch iHeart matchup at the 5. But how do you think that the Knicks should contain, or how do you think they should strategize to contain Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who really torched us last game?
I think we go about it the first half. You make it difficult. You're not gonna, he's a good offensive player, so you just switch it up, keep the looks like they did, and make him work on both ends. You're gonna have to expend energy on both ends now. I'm gonna make you defend, and you're gonna have to carry your team.
Right.
Can you do that for 4 quarters though? See, we didn't make him do that for 4 quarters. We did only two quarters. We did that.
First half, yeah.
Yeah, the second half, that was it. They kind of did that to us. They took our strategy in the first half and then said that to Brunson. Oh, you want to carry a team? Can you do it on both ends? Right. And they target him on defense, and then we went hero ball. So and it didn't work out. So we have to trust our team. They're not a better team than us. I don't care how deep they think they are better than us, but they're really not. And I think they're a good team. Hold on, I'm sorry, my back. I think they're a good team, but I think we helped them. Again, we stopped doing what works. We helped the defense so many times, but we just stop going to what's working. And I had mentioned, I think last post game how that's why Armon Wiggins doesn't happen for the Knicks because we go away from what's working. We go straight to our go-tos, even if our go-tos are not, it's not their game that game.
Great point.
So we have to stick to what's working. That's all I have about that. I know Shai's a great player, but I think that we kind of exposed him a little bit defensively. I know he's a good defensive player, but maybe not so much on our matchups, on the matchups we have. And in that first half, what was so beautiful about it was that again, we had we were playing as a team. Again, we were playing all together. You had Mikal going, you had OG sprinkling, you had Josh Hart sprinkling. The one person that really was, the two people that really wasn't going crazy was Cat and Jalen Brunson. Cat would sprinkle in some here and there, but he didn't have many shot attempts. Jalen Brunson was more on his point guard duty. The ball was not sticking in his hand. It was quick, precise passes, not him beating the ball into the ground and then passing. It was boom, boom, boom. They were hitting the pick and roll. It's kind of similar. We did that against Chicago, and we stopped doing it. Again, it might have been our legs, who knows? But we gotta stop doing the defense's job for us, for them rather. We stop our streak. It's not the defensive players stopping it. It's us. We'll stop our streaks.
Yeah, the one thing I'll add to that neither of us have touched on yet is that every team there seems to be a role player who just comes to MSG and goes off. Or even if they're not in MSG, even if they're at home but they're playing the Knicks, they're like, all right, this is the game that's going to get me a contract extension. Or this is the game that's going to get me a bump in whatever vet minimum I'm on right now, or turn my two-way into a full-time contract. They see the Knicks and it's buffet time. I think if we can't stop their Wiggins to go off, this is a game where we absolutely have to have at least one bench player having a very productive offensive game. I think that we have to have one of Payne, Precious, or Shamet score at least 12 to 15, in my approximation, in order for us to really be, because the starting five is going to come out ready to play. The starting five is going to want their lick back, especially Brunson. I think he's ready to come out hungry. I think Cat's going to come out dominant, but we got to have someone on the bench that Tibbs can trust to play 18 or more minutes a game, because they play a 10-man rotation no matter who's hurt and who's on the lineup. And then we have to balance that with someone on the bench that makes their bench guys work on defense. The same way that we need Shai to work on defense. We need, whether it's Wiggins or Kendrick Williams or the other Jalen Williams, someone needs to get cooked by a Shamet or a Payne or a Precious. And my money is on Shamet. I think Shamet breaks out of his 3-point slump and gets some good open looks because of them doubling Cat or doubling Brunson. And if he knocks it down, I think this is a game, if we win, it changes the perception of our season. If we defeat the OKC Thunder, I think that a lot of negativity and a lot of the BS you're seeing on Twitter and everywhere else, and the YouTube channels, I think you're going to see it minimize, because what can you argue with beating OKC, man? Like, they're a juggernaut offensively, and they're even better defensively.
Yeah. I like the makeup of their team because they got a bunch of young guys that play defense. So, I got to respect that. I have to respect it. I definitely think we have enough to beat them. We just have to trust one another. We have to trust each other, and we'll be okay. We can't let the others beat us. You got to pick. You're going to let the others or Shai. I rather Shai, because I'll take one person versus your whole team get cooking, and that's basically what happened. We had it contained when it was Shai going off, because he did go off. First quarter, I think he had like 16, 17 points or something like that. So it wasn't that we was locking him down. We made it hard for him. That was it. And then we didn't allow the Jalen Williams to go off. We didn't allow that to happen until the second half. And it actually came in the beginning. I think that second half, Cat was on him for a while. And it wasn't anything that Cat did, but he's going back to rebound. And now they get an offensive rebound because Cat is not down there. And Jay Williams gets a layup. He gets a three-pointer that way too. Now he's feeling himself. That's all it takes for a player like that. Now he's feeling himself. He all into the game. He got that dunk. He feeling himself. And that was all she wrote. It went downhill from then. Then Armin contributed. You had the other Jay Williams hit a couple threes on us. So that's just it. One team trusted. He realized I can't do it by myself, and got his teammates involved. And other team went back to what they knew in the pressure situation, which is ISO ball. So that's it. We played team ball, both sides of the court. Nobody in this league, to me, is messing with us.
Agreed. 100% agree. You and I might be two of the biggest Knicks optimists this season. Like, you were saying championship with Spider-Man at MSG. I opened the season saying we're going to win a chip. We're going to hit a 60 burger. I mean, these 3-game losing streaks, or losing to Chicago, losing to Utah about a month ago, they don't move me. I have not gotten too high after a win or too low, because all I care about is the playoffs. Like, fire Tibbs, I'm not going to say that unless we lose in the first round. I'm not going to say that unless we lose into the Pacers again in the second. Like, I got to see the playoffs is really going to determine how good Brunson is, how good Cat is, and how good Tibbs is. I've already seen all this regular season shit. Like, I know where everyone stands. We're a talented team. All I care about is the playoffs. So, what happens during the regular season doesn't change my optimism or my perspective. I just think into OKC. we got to hit more threes, man. I think we only made like 7 or 4 or 7 against OKC, something ridiculous. If we tried into a 2 versus 2 battle, we were going to lose. We have to hit more threes.
Yeah, and what can I tell you one thing that did worry me today?
What's that?
It was it's been a couple of games actually. This racing against the shot clock. Us racing against shot clocks, the shot clock violation, and Toronto is the bottom of the barrel, defensive wise. For us to have problems getting past them a lot of times during this game, it kind of worried me a little bit. Because they're not known for their defense. And that's been. Even I think it was last game we had some shot clock violations and whatnot. So I'm just hoping that doesn't continue. We need that ball movement. We don't need the wait late into the shot clock to get stuff going.
That's a good point. And their best ball hawk, on-ball defender, Davion Mitchell, didn't even play tonight. It was guys like Jacoby Walter and Jamal Sheed, Garrett Temple. It was guys that I don't really play that much that were giving Brunson and them trouble. Josh Hart, Bridges trouble getting across the line. So, or even getting a shot off too at the point of attack defense. So I agree. OKC has those guys too. And OKC defends in a way at a dominant level I've never seen before in my 25 years watching ball, which is the passing lanes. Most straight defensive teams I've seen is elite rim protection, or they only give you the mid-range. This OKC team swarms and blitzes and pits you up 48 feet, and they play the passing lanes to perfection. They're constantly getting deflections. I believe they have 3 guys in the top 10 in deflections, which is also unheard of. They live and die by forcing turnovers, but I thought we did a good job of taking care of the ball last game, and we got to do it again. But that means the bench needs to play, so guys are tired, and let's come out from under them. That's when turnovers start. Is when you
Shout out to Gamers Channel because he definitely mentioned Pacome. That was the rookie I was the highest on. Or since summer league, I've been intrigued by Pacome. I see flashes of greatness that he can be on both ends. The defensive end surprised me. That definitely I knew he could score from them saying it over and over. Like he can score, he can shoot different ways. But his defensive was something that I didn't expect, especially at a young age like he is. So I would love for Tibbs to sprinkle these guys in every once in a while. Again, we're not asking for him to go 5 into the bench. That's not, when we say play bench, that's not what we mean, extremists. we're talking sprinkling him in so he gets we can get some minutes of rest for other people.
The irony behind you saying that is that even in a blowout, Dadiak couldn't get any minutes. I don't know if he was injured or what the reason.
I didn't see him. I didn't see him on the bench.
In. I was like, where's Dadiak? Why the hell is my dad was like, who the hell is the white guy?
I don't think he was on the bench today. I didn't see him there. I looked.
He didn't play either.
Oh, I don't think he was there.
Yeah, maybe they were in the G League or something. But when I saw Matt Ryan come in, I was like, wow, Chiz must really hate the other rookies, or Matt Ryan showing him something in practice. But Matt Ryan looked like ass when we just cut that guy, man. Just to have someone who plays defense. Tibbs is never going to put that guy in the rotation. I don't understand why he's on the roster.
He can shoot. Shiny ball effect.
Man. Yeah, it's
he can shoot. Yeah, Fritz said that Dadier played in G League. I know I ain't see him today. I didn't see him on the bench. I was looking because when I seen Matt, I said the same thing, Lee. What's going on here? Where's Dadier at? I looked and I didn't see him. I thought, okay, maybe he just didn't make this trip. But I need Tibbs to be like a Tibbs, freestyling Tibbs, not stuck in his way Tibbs, willing to adjust, because that's what coaches have to do. Sometimes you got to adjust out your comfort zone to win a game. You're going to adjust any way possible to win the game, and I need him to do that. Or I'm gonna start calling him. I'm gonna start calling him. There's gonna be Tibbs.
Not the Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah, it's about to be Tibbs. I'm about to put a Tibbs jacket on him, just with the Knicks. I'll make it just for him. Like,
at first, I thought that was a Tibbs Funko Pop. I was like, is that new Tibbs that just dropped? 101, man, collector's item.
I did find a fun Funko Pop though. I found a Snoop on a stoop instead of Elf on the Shelf for Christmas. That's
I've seen a Jalen Brunson Funko Pop, not in real life, but I saw on the internet. That hit me one of those.
yeah. I tried to get one of those. I didn't quite make it. You had to sign up for it, things of that nature. But yeah, and I remember Josh Hart saying that his head is the same size as on the Funko.
Oh man. One more thing on this game, and then we can move on to the bruh pits, because I feel like I've touched on everything unless there's something else you want to talk about. To the point of Tibbs freestyling, the fact that Shamet played 21 minutes tonight was a great sign to me. That was, to me, was like, oh, he might have found his bench piece that he trusts as much as Deuce. And then he also had Precious 15 minutes and Payne 11. This is the first time we've seen three guys in double-digit minute production in a while. I can't think of the last game where we saw that. It was probably when Deuce was playing. But man, we need Deuce back as soon as possible. I think he does another weapon, another guaranteed 2 or 3 threes a game on really great shooting percentages, because his offense is incredible, and this bench really needs him. All right, so we talk about the game.
Real quick before you go off that, I just want to say before I forget to that. Yeah, Shamet playing those minutes. You know what I told I had told my significant other. I was like, you know what that means? He's not much of a basketball fan though, but I was like, that means Cam playing his way out of this rotation. That's what I
listen. Not mad about it.
I said Shamet playing that much minutes mean Cam is almost playing himself out of this rotation, because I believe it'll be Deuce and Shamet majority when he comes back, instead of the Deuce Payne Shamet thing we were doing. I think that stops.
I don't expect him to insert a rookie into the rotation this season. I don't think that's going to happen, but I wouldn't mind a Shamet, Deuce, Precious, Sims rotation. I think Sims should get back. There's opportunities, right? Next game, OKC struggles with size. To me, there's absolutely no reason Sims should not play the 5 minutes and Precious plays the 4. That's, to me, freestyling. If we see that, I'm gonna be like, oh damn, Tibbs, baby. Let's
you talking my lingo. You talking my lingo, because I said the same thing. One thing Sims gives you, he gives you defense, all kinds of perimeter defense. He's really good in that pick and roll action where we give up a lot of 3-pointers at.
Yes, he is.
He's really good at preventing that. He's really good at preventing people in the paint. I remember we was talking in the group chat, and of course because people don't like Sims offensively. I get it. They calling him that, he's ass or whatever, and I'm like, and then 2 seconds later, Wendell Carter gets a jump shot from the free throw line and then torches us, and I'm like, if Sims is in this game, that does not happen. That doesn't happen. So you pick and choose. We have enough offense. I need somebody to shut us down on the defense. I need somebody that rim, the big that says, I'm going to shut down all of this shenanigans. You get what I mean? We don't have that with Mitch out and with Sims not playing. Again, Cat does well one-on-one, but his team defense has to be improved.
Man, we're on the same wavelength tonight. I don't know if you've noticed, but I have completely changed my opinion on Jericho Sims. It really started like the 3rd week of the season. I just watched the rim protection and the rebounding rate. He's really efficient as a defender, and he's number 7th, I think, right now in the entire NBA in rim protection, plus minus. So Tibbs has molded him into exactly what he needs, which is hit stops in the paint, offensive rebound, crash the boards, set great screen. He's also been a really improved screen setter as well, getting guys open, and his dribble handoff is improving as well too. It's not so clumsy like it was, which would end up being a turnover at times. People were picking in his pocket. He's getting more efficient in that regard, which if he didn't mimic some of that high pick and roll dribble handoff action, that unlocks that Shamet more of an all. Shamet would really benefit from that, and Mikal Bridges as well. So we'll see what happens. I hope he plays next game. I think he's a perfect opportunity for Precious to not play a single minute to 5 and give that opportunity to Sims.
Yeah, and Gamers Channel said he might be a trade. Cam may be a trade piece with Sims. I don't. You know how we talk about that? I think if we trade Sims, I truly believe having that type of player. I get people don't realize his worth, but having that type of player in your back pocket is crucial. You know, that's why he is a potential trade target, because not many teams have a big that just wants to defend, is okay with playing his role, being perfect in his role. And Sims is okay with that. He understands that there are other people who have better offensive skills, and he's just going to go out there and do his big man role. People don't realize how rare that is to find somebody that's okay with that. Because everybody wants the shiny ball. Pause. They want the recognition. They want to be the man. They want to. You can so to find a player that you could just have at the back of your bench and say, "Go ahead, do your thing." When you need them to, like, I need you to shut down this paint. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We never know what this front office does, but I'm leaning towards that they like what they have.
I can't believe I'm about to say this. I think I'm going to start the hashtag never trade Sims hive. It makes no. I agree with you 100%. Dude's making $2 million this year. We can probably re-sign him, knowing Leon Rhodes, to $5 million. I think you get a little bit of a discount because we developed him and we've been loyal to him, and Leon drafted him too. So he probably wants to have a little bit of consistency in cultivating and keeping the draft picks that he picks. Sims, there's no reason to trade him because Mitch, no offense, Eb, he's injury prone. But Sims gives you a lot of what Mitch gives you in terms of rim protection and rebounding. So it's great to have that option. You don't want Hot Porty being your only option as a rim protector because his defense so far has been as bad as Kolek, in my opinion. When he gets in the game, he's all about offense. He's looking for to crash the boards for an offensive rebound. He's looking as a lob threat. Sometimes he puts the ball on the floor and gets to the hoop, but he doesn't give you anything that Sims gives you, which is a really high rebounding rate, rebounding in traffic as well, which Sims is great at, and protecting the rim. I think Sims is so cheap. He's like Deuce. Why trade him? The contract's affordable. He does exactly what you need, and he's a Tibbs player. You got to have a few Tibbs player on the roster.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. And with Sims, with Hot Porty, everybody's talking about his offensive flashes that you see, which is cool. But he doesn't set great picks. So you basically trading a 2 for a 3. Because granted, Sims does not score, but he sets some crazy picks, and he lets Jalen Brunson be wide open. He's wide open after them picks. Same thing with Mikal Bridges. He played a couple of minutes today, I think, with Mikal. Got him a wide open 3. Like, that's what he does. So you worried about his little 2 points when he's helping other people get 3? And sometimes we got to look at context. You got to look at the whole scheme of the game, y'all.
Yeah, and Hot Porty's not helping any other teammate
but himself.
Right. Sims doesn't help himself, but he helps everybody else with the screens that he sets, getting guys open. Cool. All right, Matt. So we talked about this game. To me, the preview of OKC was just as important as celebrating this win, because I think that is going to be the biggest game of the season so far. And we got a good shot to beat them on Friday. I'll definitely be here. I'm sure Ebony will be here. Jay Ellis will be back. He's sick, a little under the weather today. So my sister and I are taking care of a KOT podcast until he returns, which leads us to the bruh pick. I don't have a soundboard. I don't know if Jay's going to add this in post-production or if Fritz can do it, but do you have
do it?
Bruh picks tonight?
Bruh. There you go.
Hit me with your bruh pick. Unload the clip.
I gotta go first with Matt Walsh and his shenanigans. Shouts out to the people. I guess that's my ooh pick. People of California going through these wildfires. So my thoughts and prayers are with you. I know this can't be easy. Terrible. I seen the devastation. Some videos. Again, my prayers and thoughts go to you. But so this bro pick has to go to Matt Walsh, who chose this terrible tragedy to be a race issue. He claimed I'm going to get the pick word for word, so I don't mishandle the stupidity. Give me 2 seconds, but yeah, he bugged out. He claims that if they didn't do DEI, that this would not happen. I'm gonna get the quote. It's loading. Sorry, my phone is crazy.
Matt Walsh, someone who's known for saying a lot of very stupid things.
It says Los Angeles deliberately set out to exclude white men from becoming firefighters, and now they don't have enough firefighters to prevent their city from burning down to the ground. DEI is a cancer that destroys everything it touches. Like, this is not the time. Read the room. Read the room. First of all, this was stupid and untrue. But read the room. Don't use people's what they're going right now is not a political standpoint. It's not. It's unfortunate. This is unfortunate for these people. They're not trying to hear black, white. They're not trying to hear none of that. They're out of their homes and their belongings. Like we got to start bringing shame back. We got to bring shame back
100%.
because it's getting crazy. It's getting crazy, and we got to stop fighting with each other because we only doing their dirty work. So that's one. The other bruh pick I'm gonna have to go to will have to be the Angel Reese haters. This girl is 22 years old. She's 22 years old. She's living a life of a rich 22-year-old. Did you have everything figured out at 22? Shoot,
Hell
I'm
no.
a big age and I still don't got it figured
Same.
out.
You ain't lying.
So, and then you're judging this lady. She's very attractive because she the way she dresses, and she's not going to. They say she's not going to get any deals or anything because the way she dresses. And what does this lady pop out on? Vogue. For all you haters, because she's doing the right thing. She's still getting. She's been the face of Victoria's Secret and Vogue. I don't think any. She's okay. She's okay. Just relax. And she's working on her game too at the same time. So shouts out to that lady and leave her alone and let her be 22 and figure her life out. But other than that, I think that's it. Y'all know my memory shot. That's all I can remember right now.
I got great bro picks. I got a U pick for the Detroit Pistons. They're a team like the Knicks that have struggled for the last 2 decades since their '04 championship. And they've had a lot of bad draft picks, a lot of bad signings. They are finally over 500 for the first time in a long time. One game over 500, but damn it, they're undefeated in 2025 for the time being. I liked the Bernie Bickerstaff hire after the disastrous Monty Williams contract. This guy really seems to not only give a damn, but he has the locker room's ear. And these guys really respect Bickerstaff, who comes from a family lineage of coaches and GMs. He's really got Cade Cunningham playing superstar ball. I think Cade Cunningham might be the 3rd best point guard in the NBA after Brunson and SGA. You can argue whether Luke is a 1, 2, or 3. I put him at the 2. But yeah, Cade Cunningham, a former South Dallas native, as well as Ron Holland, his teammate on the Detroit Pistons. 2 guys I watched in high school. Both have been playing excellent defense. Thompson playing incredible defense, and their additions. Guys who I've hated on for years. The Tim Hardaway Jr., Tobias Harris, Malik Beasley are all balling. Beasley had 23 points tonight, 5 assists for them. Tobias Harris has provided really good defense at the 4, and Jalen Duren has also come into his own. He had 8 and 9, 2 blocks, 2 steals, 3 assists tonight. I'm a fan of all the classic NBA teams in the East. I've always rooted for Detroit. It's a great city with great people. And I really hope they have a basketball team worth rooting for. And it seems like they finally do. I think they're going to be in the playoffs, which I have $100 on with a friend. So I'm also rooting for that in that regard. But yeah, I always love seeing basement dwelling teams finally turning around. Sometimes they do, and sometimes they're the Wizards.
I think the Wizards front office is just cool with having a team. But I like the choice. Go ahead, sorry.
It must be a money laundering system or something, the Wizards, man, because they don't give a damn about winning at all.
I like your choice. I really like Cade a lot. I love his demeanor. I love his attitude, his no back down. He wants to play against the best. And Tobias seems to have a situation that he loves. He gets paid a lot of money and no expectations. So,
right. True.
That's the best type of situation. I got no expectations. They don't care. Nobody looking for me, and I'm getting paid lots of money. So that's why I always tell people you got to be careful when you trade with teams that have nothing to play for. It's a different type of play. I have no expectations on me. Nobody's looking at me to score 25. If I score it, I score it. If not, hey, nobody's looking over here. So you got to be careful about them Utahs and Detroits when you're trading for those vets. Just remember that.
And as you always said too, you have to have a couple of stretch of games where you play the rust off. You get off the losing mentality too. We saw that with Albert Burks and Bogdanovic. Took a while for them to get into the rhythm of winning with the Knicks. I mean, they had to watch the Detroit Pistons take off, and it took about 2 months until the playoffs, so they finally did. Especially Burks.
Remember, I was calling him Detroit Burks.
Yeah. Which, if we end up trading for him again, I wouldn't be too mad at, because he'd be coming from Miami. I mean, come on, man. That's some winning mentality. We can even go on the bench. 13th man? All right. Burks or 13th
Ryan. I think us and Burks, we had we good. It was all right. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Game 7, Burks against the Pacers, man, it was a movie.
It was, but I don't know. I can't with the up and down of Burks. I'm gonna get off that roller coaster.
Fair. I have a feeling Leon always has him in the back pocket. There's always a Burks trade. It's a possibility, but I'm not looking for it.
I do have a book though, y'all. I needed to share this book. I need to share this book. I read it a couple times. I do come back to it. It was a big part in me. You know, I didn't share, but it was a rough couple of months, and it was a good read. It helped me through it. I don't know if you can see it.
How to Win Friends and Influence People?
Yes, by Dale Carnegie. Great book. A great book. Just a book about mindsets and treating people. That's all it is. I know the title is a little deceiving, to be honest. But it's definitely eye opener, and something that I go back to on a daily basis. So if y'all can check it out.
That book is considered one of the greatest nonfiction books of all time ever written. Absolutely classic. In terms of mentality and my personal philosophy and how to treat your neighbors. Absolutely. Great choice.
Yeah, I recommend it to everybody. Everybody, if you get a chance, get it. I'm making sure everybody around me reads it. I actually reading again with my son. So
I love that.
Yeah, everybody, if you get a chance. Shots. And this was written in like 1931, which is crazy.
Yep. Well, my book club recommendation today is the Injustice series, DC. It's based on the video game, which I don't play video games, but I love comics. And I got into this because I heard that it's Superman gone bad. And basically what happens is, this is not a spoiler because this is just how the series starts off, but the Joker kills Lois Lane and sends Superman over the edge. And Joker did it on purpose, knowing that Superman would retaliate, but he wanted to break the most pure person on earth. The unbreakable person, morally, is Superman. And Superman kills the Joker. He puts his fist through his stomach and rips out his heart. And from that point on, he becomes a dictator of Earth in this alternate reality. And it's up to Batman and a band of outsider heroes to stand up against the dictator of Superman. But they're all mortal men, and Superman in our world is a god. So it's a great comic, not just on great action scenes and beautiful art, by Bruno Redondo and written by Tom Taylor, but it's a great moral and ethical story about right and wrong, kind of like Marvel Civil War between Captain America and Iron Man. Who's right, who's wrong in terms of personal freedoms versus security and the protection of a community. Very similar in this comic, and it's really, really good. I am 3 volumes out of 5 completed. The other 2 are on their way in the mail. So yeah, my recommendation, Injustice by Tom Taylor, DC, Superman versus Batman. Kick-ass comic.
I'm gonna look for that for my son, actually.
It's really good. But apparently the video game is like one of the best video games ever too. But I just don't play video games.
I'm a gamer, y'all. I'm a gamer.
Is J. Ellis a gamer too? I can't remember.
I think so.
Yeah, I haven't played games since PlayStation 1. That shows you how long it's been since I've been in the gamer world. Cool. Ebony, let them know where to find you.
You can find me here after every post game. For every post game, you can find me on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at Mad Knicks Fan. I'm gonna get more active on those, I promise. Yeah, pregame space at Your Take Knicks on Twitter. And yeah, that's about it.
Dope. I want to take a little bit of a moment in time to thank you, Ebony, for coming on the show with me tonight and just being back. Everyone's missed you. I specifically have missed you because no one has made me a better thinker than you. You really challenged me, as I've said on this podcast before, to get more knowledgeable in X's and O's and play calling, which was not my strength when I came in here. I was more like fits and players and matchups, but you really challenged me in order to just speak alongside you and with you to know what I was talking about. And I wanted to thank you in the time you've been gone. I've really been studying tape and really been trying to get better. Iron sharpens iron. So I not only wanted to say I'm so happy that you're back to talk ball with, but also thank you for everything you taught me about ball.
Hmm. Appreciate you. You already know, Lee. I always tell you all the time. I'm grateful that the Knicks have allowed us to cross paths like a brother from another mother. So I appreciate y'all. And like you said, iron sharp as iron. Y'all make the game more enjoyable because after everyone, I get to talk to y'all about it. So that's tough. And I did miss the fam or the chat. I missed y'all. I definitely did. But 2025 is you know looking up, and I'll be here. God, health wise, God willingly, I will. So yeah, appreciate you though, Lee.
No doubt. And I'm actually an asshole to everybody, especially on Twitter. So my KOT family, I appreciate because y'all the people I did show my nice side to because I'm a menace in these Twitter streets, bro. I be fighting with someone new every damn day. I just can't help myself. But on this show, I did to show them the nice part of my personality. So I always appreciate that opportunity too. Hey, don't follow me. Follow Fritz, the best mod in the game, at Fritz Handles, FRITZ HANDLES. He's the man behind the scenes tonight. He's producing this show, which we really appreciate since Jay Ellis is not here. And we love you, brother. Thank you for everything you do for us and the KOT team. You are really the best mod in the game.
Yeah, just don't put no more Mitch trade questions. We don't want to trade. I'm just messing with you, Fritz. You know I love you.
Shout out Fritz, man. All right, cool. We
Facts.
appreciate everybody here in the chat. Y'all been going ham in the paint. D-Roz, Knit Nation, Nostalgia Nick, Prezi the Boss, one of the icons, another icon, Gamer Channel, Space Ghost, JT Riddick, Aurisha Bob, who also agreed, never trade Mitch. And who else is in here? Oh, and Ebony. Very nice to see Ebony back in the chat too. All right, cool. We will be back Friday for the post game. Ebony will be here. I will be here. Fritz will be here. Hopefully JLS will too. Biggest game of the season, y'all. It's a really big one. We got to get that lit back. And Karl-Anthony Towns has a dog walk iHeart. I want to see iHeart dog walked, not in a knit jersey. I want to see him dog walked in a Thunder jersey, and I want to see him dog walked by Karl-Anthony Towns on his MVP shit.
Don't run from the smoke, Cat. iHeart either. I see you and Josh. Don't be holding Josh Hart. Get in that paint and guard Cat, please.
And if he tries it, Cat, find him. Find him on that switch and abuse his ass off the dribble. I'd love to see it, man. All right, cool. What's a closing that Jay Hillis always says? It's a mess out here in these New York streets.
Yeah, shout out to World Wide West.
We love
I know the rest.
We love y'all. We appreciate y'all spending time with us in our post game. JLS will be back, our fearless leader. But yeah, until then, much love from Ebony and I. Have a great night.
Tibbs Jr.
Peace.
New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
NYC.